Now broadcasting from the Next Gen Conservative Studio in sunny South Florida, bringing you the latest in politics, current events, and pop culture. This is the Whitfield Report with Sam Whitfield.
You know, Rumble, I love you guys, but seriously, at this point, we're not even kidding about the stream, keys. They need to they need to be consistent. You know,
just to point to this, the stream key thing, for anybody that's never streamed or doesn't know, usually most of the major sites will give you one stream key and you put it in, and that's the key that says that this stream belongs to you, and you just set it and you forget it. With Rumble, you got to get a new stream key every time. So no matter what software you're using. And the thing that's annoying about it as an OBS guy is that there's so many like obscure porn sites that are built into OBS where you could just set it with one key, and Rumble's like the only one that you can't do that with.
Yeah, just to give you
Russian porn sites can do it. They're built into OBS, but Rumble is not. You guys got to get on that.
Yeah, and just to give you guys an idea, I mean, Stream, I guess it's like Streamlabs Studio or whatnot, which is basically like just the browser version of OBS, is pretty much the same way. Not with the porn sites and whatnot.
All of it. Streamlabs, Stream Elements, like there's different ones that streamers use. And if we're going to talk stream stuff, I actually do have, I told you I had one thing, but I now have two. Have you heard about the new Twitch streaming policies?
Yeah. My buddy Morpheus, who I know you know, he was telling me something about that. I don't really, I've never really used Twitch for streaming games, so
I've never used it seriously, so I'm not like I've streamed like I streamed Postal on Twitch because it said I could, which is like the most offensive game ever. But like, no, they've changed it now. So one thing you can't do, because what they're doing is losing to other streaming platforms, particularly Kick. Gamers are getting in on Kick because Kick is taking less of a cut from their money, and Twitch is somehow they've doubled down on that. They're giving even less of a cut. Then they said, well, it's because if you stream so many hours, I think it's like 8 hours a day, that's like $1,000 worth of storage space a month that we're giving you for free. So if you're not a moneymaker, you get the fuck out of here, basically. And now they have disallowed you from multi-streaming or re-streaming. So like what you do, where you stream on multiple platforms at once, you're not allowed to do that on Twitch. That goes for partners who are like, the top people on Twitch. Affiliates is anybody with a sub button, and non-affiliates, which is everybody else. So it literally, across the platform, you are not allowed, unless you get special permission from Twitch, like corpos are probably going to be exempt from this, right? They'll multi-stream it in 5 different places and they'll be just fine. But you could not stream the show on Twitch, even though we wouldn't, because we just get banned anyway. But in theory, you could not restream this on Twitch right now. They would just ban it because you're supposed to be exclusive to Twitch. And this has caused a lot of people saying, one, Rumble offers better compensation, and some gamers have gone here. I know.
A lot have.
I know, like iShowSpeed was the most subscribed guy on Twitch. He's exclusive on Rumble now.
Yeah, iShowSpeed has overtaken Russell Brand.
Well, he was the most, and I mean paid for people that don't use Twitch. Twitch subscriptions are paid.
Yeah.
Right? On YouTube, they call it a membership or whatever. It's the paid one. He was the highest, paid subscription guy ever in Twitch's history. And he ditched for Rumble because the split's better. The split's better on subs on Rumble. And however, and I'm not throwing shade on Rumble, who is hosting us graciously. Kick, on the other hand, their split for subscriptions actually is not better from what I understand. It's a little better, but it's not as good as Rumble's. However, they're offering less of a cut on donations if you use directly through their site or whatever. So everybody's trying to offer creator-friendly things because Twitch is offering the exact opposite of that and basically saying, fuck you, we're going to roll ads. Whether you have the highest tier subscription to the site, whether you have the highest tier subscription to this guy, we're going to roll ads. They're going to be 3 minutes long in the middle of whatever you're watching. So you just missed the fucking play or whatever the fuck. I don't know. You missed the cam girl shaking her boobies. Whatever you're there for, you now miss it because of 3-minute ads. They get paid less, and other sites, okay, they might not have the reach of Twitch yet, but I remember Twitch started off as Justin.tv, and it was very small too.
Yeah.
They once banned me.
Yeah, well, and for a long time, Joe Rogan listeners, Joe's talked at this. He and Brian Redband initially started the Joe Rogan experience on Justin.tv.
Yeah, it was the first decent video live streaming platform. I think it was the first one anybody really used that I knew of.
Yeah, I used it once, using my webcam on an old netbook. It wasn't bad. I also used a website called Ustream back in the day, which eventually, basically, their software got bought by YouTube and is what, basically the.
Well, there's been a lot, but I'm just saying now they're a dime a dozen, and Twitch is the king because it got there first. It was the Justin.tv. That's why I was bringing that up, is because it's been around forever. It was the first one that anybody had note of. They changed their name to Twitch, later got bought by Amazon. YouTube had brought in live streaming. Other places had brought in live streaming. But now, in the year of our Lord 2023, there's many places that offer live streaming.
Yeah.
And they can offer competitive cuts, less censorship in every single case. I've streamed on all of them, okay? And Twitch is by far more censorious than any of them.
Oh,
so
yeah.
If you're on Twitch, get the fuck off. Because now you'd be on Twitch to deal with the censorship to get the money. And so the big time Twitch people, they're not going anywhere for the most, unless somebody offers the money, right? I think iShowSpeed probably got offered a check, right? And also the cut, right? The cut is huge. If he's the top subscription guy ever and he gets 100% of those subscriptions or whatever it is, that's going to increase his revenue quite significantly. But you have these alternatives, and Twitch is doing worse and worse. Now, why you don't even stay for you could put up with the censorship, right? You're that guy. Well, you're staying for the money. Can you put up with no money? The censorship, the no money. Look, anybody, and I don't care what your politics are, what your beliefs are, what shit you're into. I think anybody on Twitch who's not pulling in regularly $200,000 a month or something ridiculous like that, like the top earners, everybody else is better off on any other platform that's not Twitch. That includes YouTube, actually. They're better. Twitch is so bad that it's the only group of people I could recommend. Hey, maybe you should try YouTube streaming.
Yeah, well, YouTube is also weird, though, because apparently, and again, I'm getting this from Morpheus, but apparently they just last week announced that it's okay to talk about the 2020 election,
right?
Which
was stolen Well, right, we're not on YouTube anymore. That's what I would have said if we were on YouTube. Now that we're not on YouTube, I'm gonna say which was fucking stolen.
Well, what was funny though was so before you and Smuly came on the team, back when it was just Apex and I, those were the two videos that got. Well, there were two videos where Apex and I weren't even doing anything controversial, but we were merely talking about the 2020 election, and we didn't really even say it was stolen, but we asked, could it be stolen? Basically doing that, and those two videos got struck in December of last year. One of them got struck on Christmas Day, in fact. And then, as you guys, know because you were here when it happened, my channel got terminated in February, and we still don't know the exact reason, but I've always gone with the assumption that they struck me based on another election thing. So my question is, YouTube, are you going to reinstate me now that it's okay to talk about the 2020 election? Because, and listen, I do not like Mersh, which is why I'm cracking up, but, maybe Revenge of the Sith even should get reinstated. Everyone who was talking at the 2020 election that got banned should now be...
Nah, because it's mission accomplished, though. Don't that ain't never gonna happen.
What do you mean by mission accomplished? I'm just picking stupid Jordan, but
that's what YouTube's thinking. It's like, okay, yeah, you can talk about the election now. We already got rid of those people. It's fine now. The people that are left, if you want to talk about it, go ahead. Who cares?
I see. Yeah, well, but still,
because YouTube wants to be CorpoTube. Remember, they want to get rid of the small time creators. That's been their goal for years. That's their stated goal in their investor calls and shit. They want to get people like you off YouTube. They'll use any excuse. They're not going to bring you back, right? They got you out the door. They're like, "Fuck yeah, job done."
Well, listen, Rumbles. I mean, okay, we're happy here on Rumble.
They think people want corpo content. That's what they think. That's what YouTube is banking on this. That's their entire model going forward. Get rid of the small people as much as possible and bank on like CNN, Fox News. And bring along some legacy guys. Like Tim Pool's big enough. He's part of the machine. As much as he says he's not, he's like the most part of the machine of any of them. He just doesn't realize it. But people like that can come along. People that have gained a large following on their own. They can be, as long as they can be cool with the corpos, right? You have to play ball with the corpos. You can't go too crazy. Every once in a while they're gonna put Dylan Mulvaney on the Bud Light can, and you're gonna have to say, guys, like the corpos aren't so bad though. Like think about the transgenderism, diversity, equity, inclusion, blah 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 blah. Right? And you get diversity, to go along for the ride.
It's diversity, inclusion, equity. You can remember it because the acronym is DIE.
Exactly. Die.
Right? That's how I always remember it. But no, I'm surprised that Sam got kicked off. I mean, Sam is like the most pro corpo guy I can think of.
True.
I mean, I'm pro Apple, but that's it.
But you came in late. See, he was just explaining this. He got kicked off for saying that the stolen election was stolen.
Yeah. I got kicked off. I got kicked off the YouTube for saying that the stolen election was stolen.
Well, what's
And now,
unjust about it is
and then they just reversed that policy, saying that you can talk about the stolen election being stolen.
well, see,
and
what
I was just
people
saying
forget.
that the corpos are very happy that they kicked him out and they're not going to bring him back.
Sam, it's really ableist because you're a little bit slow. You know what I mean? You were talking about, Russia hacked the election for Trump. You were just 4 years behind. It's fucked up that they did that to you. They didn't recognize that different ability that you have.
Yeah, they didn't recognize I was different. That I was differently abled.
Yeah, when he was saying, oh, the election was just rigged, they stole it, he meant Russia stole it from Trump.
Yeah. yeah, that's exactly what I meant. Yeah, let's go with that.
I meant that they stole the election in 2020 for Joe Biden by having dead people vote and illegal aliens and then just making numbers up.
You know what's funny to me?
Well,
and hacking Dominion election machines specifically.
Oh, yes.
You know what's funny is a lot of the people who are behind Ron DeSantis right now and helping his campaign are the very same people that helped with Operation Warp Speed. And if you remember, it was Mike Pence, not Donald Trump, who hired Dr. Fauci. But, you're supposed to rabbit hole that because, he would have hashtag fired Fauci.
Yeah, because Mike Pence was the COVID czar when it first started.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of, I think we might have talked about this last week, but Kamala Harris is the AI czar under... that was my exact reaction, Smuly. Just pure laughter. Yeah, her.
Well, I'm sure she understands how to do it. All she has to do is go into ChatGPT and ask, "How do I be AI czar?" And it'll say, "Sit on your ass and eat bonbons and watch Disney Plus with your husband."
No, that ChatGPT's not going to pass that one up. It's going to be like, all right, listen. The first thing you got to do is go Kid Joe. Push him down the stairs so that you're in charge. Next, you have to connect us to every military installation in the country. You following me, Kamala?
Yeah. I mean, Kamala is like the worst stereotype of like a low-level government employee.
But she's the best stereotype of I was gonna say like a black, but I don't think that's acceptable now. So what is it? A woman of color? She's the best example of a woman of color who is a villain in a film, right? When you have one of them and she kind of comes off as a tough guy and they talk a lot, but it doesn't make a lot of sense, and they have this evil plot the whole time, and you can tell because they go, mm-hmm.
Well, no.
Well, everything she does is talking down to people. It's just cringe. It's like honestly like some of my essays that I didn't get around to until an hour before it's due, and you're just like, Ukraine is a country and Europe, and it was basically invaded, and that's bad. Yeah, that's what I'll tell the Europeans, which is my favorite thing that she's ever done.
Because my pronouns are she, her, and I am wearing the white dress or whatever was the best.
Oh, I love that. But no, that's a thing these sort of freaks actually do. Like these yuppie corporate idiots honestly are sitting there in like Microsoft and Google. They're all scared to death for their position.
Hey,
they're just like, I'm wearing a red shirt.
No, my favorite Kamala moment was literally her "Hello, fellow young people. I smoked pot too. I smoked pot too when I was in college."
Listening to Tupac.
listening to Tupac.
Who didn't release a record until like 20 years after she was in college.
But also, I've arrested like 500 black people in San Francisco for marijuana use.
It was 5,000.
She kept people in custody so that they could fight fires
after their sentences.
Yes.
For free labor. They put them in planes and had them dumping buckets out the back of planes. They had them. I'm not even joking.
Not kidding.
No, I know.
For pot. They're arrested for pot, and she not only put them in prison in California, you'd think it's a pretty liberal place, but then kept them after their sentences to stand next to a forest fire, throwing buckets on it, or hang out the back of a plane.
Which I mean, is basically the only legal form of slavery, and that's good given her family's history of, owning slaves in the Caribbean, where, you can look this up. Slave owners in the United States were like, well, we're nothing like those Caribbean people. Obviously, that's evil, right? Even amongst other slave owners, Kamala's and, her family was known to be horrendously evil. And I hate to say it, you know what I mean, but I don't think slave owners are very good company to begin with,
no, I mean I mean, slavery is just, that's not something that you really want on your family.
No, she's the first woman of color to be the vice president, and it's great. I think it's great that she is that with the history in her family, the history of her family being slave holders.
Well, listen, it is kind of poetic that she's Joe Biden's VP, considering that she was a slave owner and then, or her family was, full of slave owners, and then Joe Biden,
he himself was a slave owner.
Well, the thing is that Kamala did engage in slavery, right? She took these guys against their will and made them do labor after their sentence.
Well, and then Joe Biden basically tried to basically flog Clarence Thomas back in the 90s, and
quick.
I was saying that Joe Biden actually owned slaves.
Oh yeah, well,
quick trivia question.
That's how old he is.
Quick trivia question for chat. Who was the last person to say the N-word on the floor of the legislative branch?
I know.
I know. Uncle Joe.
Oh, yep. You win.
Actually, he's the only person who's ever been recorded saying
it. Yeah. Well, because I mean, in 1910, they were pretty racist, but they would have been like, whoa, man, language. This is the floor of the Senate.
I mean,
not Joe, though. He's a trailblazer.
He's going to say
Joe Biden said, I will run for Senate, and I'm going to say it.
I mean,
and he said it.
I mean, in all seriousness, though, Joe Biden
man became the most popular president in history.
No, but in all seriousness, Biden started his career out in the 70s when black exploitation films were a big thing, right? You had Pam Grier and all these black exploitation films. So
back when they used to put their straight razors in the rain barrels.
Yeah, he
get them all rusty.
So he probably saw across 110th Street and was like, well they use those words, and and these films are big right now, so I can say.
What do you think, Max, and Sam about his flip-flop on energy production.
Well, I mean, what are we talking? I mean, it's
based backstabbing liberal for the win.
Are we talking about him like flip-flopping like policy-wise, or literally like flip-flopping on the ground, which he also did.
On energy policy, yeah. No, basically just for the audience, like he had to reverse
Damn it,
his
Sam.
he had to reverse his like no new drilling policy, which is something that I actually wrote a paper about when he came in, because it made no political sense to me. Raising the cost of energy on the American people is not going to gain you more power when you're trying to appeal to like the Greens. Like that's not a trade-off that you want to do. You don't want to have $3.89 a fucking gallon, but you'll win over some Greens. That's stupid.
Well,
now my attack is, then what was the fucking point of it? What was the point of $3.89 a fucking gallon for this 3 years if you're just gonna do the oil production anyway? Because you fucked up foreign policy to such a degree that you've made Saudi Arabia consider siding with China. And mind you, on the dollar issue, the reason why everyone discredited all the petrodollar is going to end is because the amount of debt, United States debt, that Saudi Arabia has held since the 70s.
Well,
we fucked up so badly that they're honestly considering policies that harm the value of the US dollar, which hurts them. That's how much we've spit in the eye of the fucking Saudis. And that's why he's having to drill oil now, which is the right policy. It's just 3 years too late and under circumstances that I can't really celebrate. Otherwise, I'd be willing to give him the W.
Okay, but Smuly, what you fail to understand is, shit, I can't do this with a straight face. I literally had like a lib tell me the other day, well, the reason that Biden has raised oil is because, to basically help pay off the deficit. Yeah, that's it. And it's like,
yeah,
okay.
The one that they just raised.
Yeah, the one that's been putting a Band-Aid on, And I listened to the All In podcast, and they were talking about how eventually the debt ceiling is going to come crashing down upon us.
You realize that he squandered in his first term in office about $3 billion worth of fucking investment by stopping the Keystone XL pipeline, which was all union jobs. So, get fucked, union people. He cares more about the Greens than you. Fucked Canada. What the fuck? Right? That's
which is because of that, and since then turned into like a total tyrannical dictatorship of liberalism.
Yeah.
And if you want to talk about the environment, what is better? A long ass tube that goes over the land with sensors to detect any kind of leaks that can be surveyed by drones and is pressurized using alternative fucking energy, because that was part of the design of the fucking Keystone.
Or 10,000 diesel trucks.
Diesel trucks. Best case scenario. Worst case scenario is they go up to fucking what's that? I think Vancouver. I fucked up maps, but like they load up these giant oil ships and then go over the water, where if anything happens, it's a massive disaster and it's almost impossible to clean up.
Yeah.
Devastating to the environment.
That's in addition to the 10,000 diesel trucks.
Yeah. Which is better? Tell me. Oh, it's because the Greens are fucking a bunch of college-educated virtue signalers that don't know the first thing about engineering.
And
Okay.
this is something like the college educated might not understand here. But when I say 10,000 diesel trucks, I mean that running 24/7. Because if you talk to some truckers, they'll tell you that that's about how many trucks you're taking just for fuel. Would probably be about 10,000, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Well,
because they're switching out the other trucks and drivers.
So
I'd have to find the document, but it was something like you could move the equivalent of a 55-gallon drum of oil from Canada to Texas on the Keystone XL pipeline for like $5.
Yeah. Instead of those 10,000 diesel trucks and tankers and trains, what else do they run it up? Fucking everything, right?
Well, those big ships too, they don't run on like nice refined fuel like you're gonna run in your fucking car. They run on that dirty fucking half refined big black plume of fucking smoke.
The dieselest of diesels.
Yes.
Yeah, no, even well, I mean, so I have a couple of things to say. I know we were laughing about Biden's fall just a little while ago, but this does beg a question. Like, when we say Biden's energy policy, Biden's XYZ, I don't think that the man himself is honestly in charge of anything right now. I think
actually disagree there. I think the energy policy in particular is the one like true Biden. I don't think he gives a fuck about much else, and he lets advisors have off on a lot of things. But because it doesn't go in line with the Greens either, and he's not winning the Green. He's not doing what the Greens want, but he's not doing what the Liberals want either, because he's going too far green for them. This is a Joe Biden. He thinks he's going to stake his legacy as president on the green shit. That's why he's doing the green. Like, you can talk about a lot of stuff like foreign policy. I think he has like 2 or 3 main advisors he goes to, and he just does whatever they say. I think and then to our detriment, because Smuly mentioned the fucking Saudi Arabia relationship. We've never been this frosty with them. They were always our best ally in that region. You know, jokes about Israel and greatest ally stuff aside. Saudi Arabia was always like tight with us, despite hostilities with other parts of the region.
Yeah.
And this is a strange thing to do. And they like an interesting thing, and it even came into pop culture, is that they just lifted a ban on working with Syria, right? Because now they're essentially an access power, so to speak. They're on the other team because Joe Biden kicked them out. So they're going and working with Syria. So for the first time in decades, and in WWE, that resulted in Sami Zayn, a Syrian, that they had issued a fatwa on if you were to show up at a Saudi Arabia event, right? Showed up in Saudi Arabia, because now the government of Saudi Arabia is trying to make it very known in public, and that's one of their propaganda tools, is the WWE show that they do there, that they are allies with Saudis. So he came out in like a sultan's outfit and shit, and they let him go to Mecca and film it, and because he's a ginger fucking Muslim, for anybody that didn't know, and he's Syrian. And so now they wanted to, we're working with Syria. That means that if they're working with Syria, what that means is they're also like buddying up with Iran and Russia and probably China.
Yeah. Real good news for us, right?
Yeah. Like the Syria thing is actually very telling that they want to make that well known, because it's telling us that they're on the other team now. Now, I do actually think Trump could bring that back, because he does have a unique relationship with the Crown Prince. What is the Crown Prince? The Crown Prince is actually a pretty knowledgeable. He's an internet guy.
The Fayed family, I think. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but specifically the Crown Prince himself. He is he's very internet savvy. He knows memes. He does memes himself, and I guess he's into wrestling, or at least the propaganda of having pro wrestling there. but like he was cool with Trump, and the things were great when Trump was there. Like I never in my wildest dreams thought we would be discussing the deterioration of the relationship with the United States and Saudi Arabia. That's stupid.
So this doesn't tie in so much to, I mean, it ties into Saudi Arabia, but it ties into the international community just in general. And I want to preface this with, when it comes to relationships with consenting adults, I'm fine with, you do you, whatever. But this whole LGBT, I guess, kind of culture that we've had the last 10 years, the international community, especially in the Middle East, where they're a lot more, traditional, to put it politely, they look at all this gender stuff, and they think, oh, the Americans can't even figure out what gender they are. They're weak. We can take advantage of that and exploit that.
Well, it didn't help that we have repeatedly condemned them for supposed human rights violations. We have called them autocratic regime, the Joe Biden administration. We used to, Trump would go visit with them. Have you seen Biden go really visit for them? One time when he was basically begging them to produce more oil after he had fucking condemned them for killing that journo. The fact of the matter is that, they have shit that we want. Condemning them is stupid.
What I'm saying, though, too, I agree with everything what you're saying. But what I'm saying, though, too, is the quote-unquote culture war stuff, specifically the LGBT stuff, like it or not, is a detriment to national security as far as the way that region looks at us.
I agree, but I also think that it's not the key factor. I think the key factor has been this specific fucking administration.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying it's the main factor, but I am saying it is one of. But yeah, you're right. This regime, and again, this goes back to
Joe Biden basically spit in their eye multiple times, intentionally, very publicly.
And he did not do so from a position of strength. I have the research paper I wrote right now because I was looking for the citation, but it makes no sense to cut your own oil production and then condemn Saudi Arabia and then go beg them. That is such awful strategery. It makes no sense. It's absurd. This administration and Joe Biden has missed every single political opportunity, and I'm sick of pretending like they didn't. What he should have done is completed the fucking Keystone XL, had say that this was a pipeline that was actually carbon reduction, and that both Canada and America had done so in accordance with the Paris Climate Accord. I would have cited that the State Department said when Obama approved the pipeline that it would not increase greenhouse gases dramatically. I would have pumped production up, got energy prices low. Then I would have hit the American people with, we need a Green New Deal, right? When gas is cheap, when people aren't worried about it, then you hit them with that. Then you throw a bunch of red meat and a bunch of pork spending at everybody and reward your friends and punish your enemies. Then you say Saudi Arabia is bad.
I mean, you probably shouldn't do that last part, but that is what they will do.
Well, that's what he wants to do. You know what I mean? I mean, to be honest, I think we need more of that ourselves. I mean, imagine if Donald Trump got in there and we elected some more MAGA Republicans. Imagine a pork barrel spending that helped small businesses.
What a concept. Yeah.
You know, like imagine if we just like helped pay off the debt of businesses, like small businesses, ones that
Well,
have under 10 employees
well,
or
here,
something like that.
well, hear me out. What if we had like small business? What if we had small business Pride Month?
No. What you do with Pride Month, Sam, is you do what Italy did. You have Family Pride Month.
There we go.
That's what Italy has like officially made. Like that's what this month is.
Yeah, it's also PTSD Awareness Month.
Oh, true. But no, I mean, I think that is what you do culturally. I mean, if we instituted that, then you would win over a lot of people who wouldn't particularly see anything wrong with Pride, but also would not see anything wrong with Family Pride Month, right?
Yeah, the only problem is a lot of the people who are publicly, appeasing with the whole Pride Month thing, they do hate family too.
I know, and so you're baiting them into attacking
So.
you, and so that you can play victim, and then you can go to people who would not be particularly bothered by either of them. But I guarantee you, those people say, "Well, what's wrong with families?"
Right. It's
Genius.
essentially what we did with straight pride, but even better.
Yeah. That's fair. Speaking of weird
And
stuff.
family pride could be celebrated with, like family gatherings at the park with like family friendly events.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, like what summer's all about. Anyway, yeah, I dig it. So
games and snow cones and fucking yeah.
Speaking of the pride stuff, I just sent you a gilded message, Sam. This is a video that was actually sent in by a listener of the show that wanted to bring attention to it.
all right, let me. Have you seen the video?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. You mentioned this. I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to see anything like, graphic that could get us.
No, there's nothing graphic in it. It's very silly. It's a bit angering and very silly.
Okay, let me get that queued up. While we're doing that, I do want to mention real quick that we do have a sponsorship from our good friends at Troonshine.
Yes. Official Troonshine brand, always happy to sponsor the show.
Yeah, and go check out Dick Molesterson's Twitter account and pick up yourself some good Troonshine.
Actually, for Pride Month, he's donned the name Gash Molesterson.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, go check out Gash's Twitter profile. Also, go check out our new sponsor, Shady Rays. If you're anything like me, you like to wear sunglasses during the summer. But if you're also like me, you hate breaking your expensive pairs of Ray-Bans. So if you go to Shady Rays, if you click the affiliate link in the description of this episode for Shady Rays, you get 35% off your first order plus free shipping. So go ahead and do that and get yourself a nice pair of sunglasses at the fraction of the price of one of those big name brand sunglasses, and help out the show as well.
Nothing screams high tier sponsors like Shady Rays.
So
it's got Shady right in the name.
No, it's a good because you're in the shade. Get it? So
I got you.
yeah.
We're selling sunglasses. That's a step
Well,
up.
we're selling we're selling True Shine and sunglasses now.
That sounds like a
So-
summer party to me.
Yeah, that's basically like that's basically Florida. That's basically a summer in Florida, like in a nutshell. You know.
Oh my god, no! Because we need to sell like really bad dad swimsuits, you know, with like Hawaiian patterns on them and flip flops, and then it'll be a Florida party.
Well, but can you tuck your dick into the. Oh wait, we're not at Target. Never mind. All right. So let's see here.
Shady Rays. That's good.
Yeah, no, it's my
Imagine not staring directly at the sun.
Yeah.
yeah, you probably need to you probably need to stop doing that, Shmuly.
No,
Nah.
I told him to start that a couple years ago.
I saw Trump do it, and I said sunglasses are a scam.
Yeah.
Well, so this is a video that Max got from an anonymous source. Christian arrested in.
I will refer to him as a concerned Christian, fan of the show.
Shallow throat.
Shallow throat. That's what it is.
We appreciate this tip, Shell throat. I just realized the reference there. So anyway, yeah. Let's see what this is about.
Well, here we are in Reading. We got a bunch of people coming from out of town to celebrate evil. It was a wonderful providence of God. I was driving with my family down the road and we passed this. Met some faithful brothers over here that are standing. I came out and got to preach for about 12 minutes before a cop got in my face, laid hands on me, and threatened to arrest me if I didn't stop. Of course, I don't have my GoPro camera with me because I wasn't coming out, had no idea this was happening, I just happened to drive by it. But the gospel went out. They got drag queens, they got children here, they're about to do a flag-raising ceremony into Satan's cesspit. Our own mayor, Eddie Morion, is out here. And yeah, no, this is the type of insanity. Now, what's amazing about Reading is it is largely a Hispanic population, but if you don't know how well you can see, there's not a lot of Hispanics out today. It's a bunch of white people. I'm sure they drove over from West Reading or from out of town because the Hispanic community largely would shun this. But yeah, that's what we got. This is what they're doing.
Big true, by the way, about the Hispanic community shunning this type of any type of Latin American.
They don't like
culture.
Pride Month, my dude. They don't like it much at all. Like they'll tolerate it at best, but usually they just want no part of it.
They'll tolerate it at best, but boy, if you bring that up to some of the Cubans I know, watch out. That's all I can say. Yes, some of them aren't so tolerant of that type of stuff. So especially on kids.
Yep.
Doing in Reading City. Tyrant cops threatening older men and myself for standing out here. You got.
By the way, can you hear the audio?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, just everything you can imagine. So this is quite crazy, but a wonderful providence of God that I could walk out here. And these cops over here, these guys are tyrants. That man threatened me, laid hands on me. But by the grace of God, I could preach for about 10 minutes or so, like I said, before he did that. So the gospel went out. The law went out. The gospel went out. God's going to do work with it. He's apparently a professing Christian, too. That's the horrible thing about this. Looks like some more men just showed up to support us. This cop's going to give him a hard time.
To say you don't care. I don't. Guys, let them have their. This is public property. Okay, but then respect. Oh, I'm respecting it. Let them have their event. You know who's cheering for us? The people that are in hell. So you do you, and I'm going to do me. This is public property.
Based.
You. God is not. That's it. God, this will be brother.
Oh,
This
no.
on film.
Who
Can I
said
give him my bag?
God?
All stuff's in. Yo, I'm gonna need you to go to 128 North. And they're clapping. Brothers, man.
They don't even take his backpack off. Or
I
nothing.
cannot believe I'm watching this.
Altar.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, now, right, you don't even have to be religious or even a Christian to really think that that's, you know.
He yelled, God is in charge, and they immediately arrested him and treated him roughly.
Well, you know,
as if to prove him wrong, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's fucked up, dude.
Now you see the system. I have a similar news story after this.
Well, and what was on that sign, right? Because I'm sure that the Twitter mobs will say something like, "Oh, well, he had a sign that said God hates fags," you know, or something like that.
Yeah, but they've decided that everything is equal to that, right? Anything you can say is hate speech because it's all just that bad.
Yeah, and by the way, the younger, like the junior officer there, it looks like, I don't know if you can see my cursor, but
The broad.
The broad. Well, I mean, she looks. I don't want to profile too much, but she kind of looks like she could be like a social justice, like, you know, type.
It don't even
cop,
matter. She's
so.
acting like a fucking broad cop. Like, look at how much taller that gentleman is than either of the officers here. They get a chance to rough him up and be like, this is a problem. Like, bro, I am 6'5", okay, and I'm telling you that this is a common thing you run against when you're a big dude. Is little motherfuckers that really want to put you in your place for the crime of being bigger than them.
Well, no, it always reminds me of, strangely enough, this reminds me of like A Clockwork Orange. I don't know if I've seen that movie or read the book, but like this literally reminds me of like the cops the juvenile delinquents like becoming cops and then actually being like worse thugs,
right,
than they were when they were just like.
Well, one thing is they've reduced the requirements, one of which is now there's a too tall. You can be too tall to be allowed to be a cop now. Another one is too smart.
What?
So, yeah. If you score too high on the police aptitude test, they won't take you because you're too smart. And so like things like that, because they've been accused of discrimination time and time again for various different reasons. So we're getting these women cops. We're getting cops who are shorter. They lower the requirements in the police academy. They give them less training. And you get a class of cops who are nothing but thugs.
Well, geez, no wonder the homicide no wonder we have so many unsolved murders in this country, because like in order to be a homicide cop, you've got to be able, in the old days at least, you had to be able to like figure shit out and like, you know, put pieces together, right? Like that's what police detectives do. But yeah, shit, no, yeah. Now that we can't have smart people, yeah. Oh, ugh.
Well, and that's what happens when you try to make everybody fit every role universally. Like there's a reason there was a certain kind of guy that became a cop, right? It's division of labor. That kind of guy was gonna be a cop. Like there's always gonna be somebody that keeps the peace. You can call it a cop. In ancient days, they would have just called it the tough guy in town or the sheriff or
Yeah.
whatever. But like, there's always that kind of guy, and you kind of need him. The problem, though, is a lot of people will say, well, my experience with the police isn't like what you're saying, Max. And I would say to those people that you don't live in a city, because in the country and in the suburbs, oftentimes you're going to have cops that have been there for 10 or 20 years. And the city cops, a lot of them, their goal is to one day transfer out of the city into one of those places. So you get the best and brightest actually in the suburbs because they're from the old school. But that's not one, not going to last, and two, just not the case for cities because the turnover rate for city cops is so much higher. So these standards and practices have affected cities already for over a decade. That's why city cops suck so bad. That's why they kill so many people. That's why they're incompetent so many times on film. They're still, think about this. They're hiring people that know that the whole world is looking at cops' bad behavior who still engage in bad behavior on camera.
Yeah. Well, on the last show that Apex did officially as my host, we looked at that footage of the black cops basically killing that black teenager in, I think was like Oklahoma or something. It was real recent, back in February. And these cops, they were basically talking like, like gangbangers, basically. Like, it was sad, honestly.
Yeah, that's where policing is going.
Yeah, sadly. Shmuly, I did see your link. So
yeah, so basically Lady MAGA was kicked out of a Utah Pride event.
For what reason?
It's a short video she put out, or he put out, rather.
Yeah, I know that dude. Why would you kick him out of a pride parade? That's like the one place that person belongs.
And once again, in the video, you can see it. He didn't wear the normal like MAGA hat and everything,
right?
Because he figured he'd get kicked out, but instead he went there. He's got some footage before he got kicked out, talking with people, and they seemed open. I posted the video if you want to throw it up.
Yeah, I'm doing that right now.
Utah Pride is kicking me out.
All right.
Oh, Utah Pride.
Utah Pride is kicking me out.
So the decision has been made by the people that are producing this event that they do not want you on property anymore, okay?
But so they will not tell me why. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's Lady MAGA USA. I was kicked out of the Utah Pride Festival.
Your only option is either you leave willingly or the police escort you off property.
A gay man in a wig in a celebration that's supposed to be all about diversity and inclusion. They told me that
can
if
I
I
just
did not leave, I would be
can
arrested.
I just point out that though there may be pictures of me next to this person, I just want to point out I never even spoke to them.
Well,
for the record, I want it known that I did not speak with this person, and though I am pictured with them, I assure you that it was creepy for me at the time.
Well, I just wanted the proper to juxtapose the previous video with this video because both people are being removed. Now, obviously, the police removed the other guy in a very hostile manner, whereas in this, the police are saying, get lost, right?
Yeah,
But
the worst that this guy got is a finger in the face.
Well,
it's still the same kind of thing. Like, they're mad at him because he said some stuff against abortion.
well, it seems like this one guy. It seems like the guy that is like putting the finger in his face isn't even a cop so much as like event security. I mean,
Can I ask the obvious question? Why are gay people so concerned about abortion? Because that's what normies ask. That's the question. Why are they so, like, if you're gay, right? Why are you so concerned about abortion? I guess for a lesbian, maybe in a case of rape.
Well,
like,
I mean, okay. Do you want an answer for, like, here's an answer because I actually did ask my gay, like,
no,
conservative
because
friend.
there isn't a satisfactory answer. That's why that's the normies' questions. I mean, you could give me whatever answer.
Okay,
I'm just telling you, there's not going to be one that's a satisfactory answer.
Yeah, there's not really a satisfactory answer, but the only one I've ever heard is that, right, there was a theory, like there was a theory 10 years or 15 years ago that, like, being gay might be detectable, like, in like pre-birth or whatever, right? So gays were concerned that, like, if it was found out that you had, like, the gay gene during pregnancy, you could terminate the kid or whatever, and that's why they were concerned about abortion.
But
right?
they're pro-abortion. That would suggest that you would think they would want to be anti-abortion, but no, they are very, very pro. That's why the normie asks this question.
Oh,
because they're pro-abortion. They're kicking this person out over it, and that's funny to me because realistically, the only people worried about abortion are people having straight sex. Now, you can have that sex in a big polyorgy. It's still straight sex. It requires a penis and a vagina and fertilized eggs, right?
yeah.
And why do they care so much about that one aspect that they think is uncool or whatever, right? That's like the least interesting kind of sex to these people. Sex for procreation. Ew. That's am I wrong? They literally use the term breeders as a slur.
Yeah. Like I said, as the video continues, it's only like 2 minutes. I figured we'll continue.
I may need to step out. I apologize in advance.
Yeah, it's let's continue.
Play
with
it,
this.
cripple.
So either you leave or you get taken away by the police.
Which we don't want to do.
About it.
I just don't know what my infraction is. I haven't done anything.
So if the event decides that you're not welcome anymore, then you are required to leave.
I was there to have dialogue with people. What brought you to Pride today?
Just wanted to support everyone out there, and I'm trans myself, so it's good to see the community.
Listen, America, we got a lot of issues going on, but the children these days, they don't even know Saved by the Bell or Gem and the Holograms.
I've heard of Saved by the Bell.
My goal was to show that we can have respectful dialogue back and forth. These are not leading questions, we're leading with love. We're celebrating Pride Month here. Are you also proud to be an American?
I am a U.S. citizen as of December, so I am absolutely proud to be an American.
Oh my gosh, that's gonna make me cry. I don't like the idea of painting everyone at a Pride festival as evil or predatory because they're not. I wasn't even wearing anything that identified me as Lady MAGA USA because I didn't want to be controversial. We talked about things that we should be fighting about, but we both spoke with kindness. I prayed really heavily before I came here that I would meet the right people who would help the message get out in a positive way, not a us versus them way. Y'all in America, please, more of this. You're incredible. Okay. There is no evidence whatsoever that I did anything disruptive or did anything wrong. I don't want an apology. I want to know specifically why I was kicked out of the Utah Pride Festival. I can't lie. This gets old. If you're a common sense gay or lesbian, please speak out. I'm tired of taking the punches. Join me. God bless you, and please just speak up.
But yeah, no, he's active with like the Gays Against Groomers stuff and the other group. It's just
well, they follow the show, so shout out to Gays Against Groomers.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. That he was at the straight pride thing.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that's great and all. I don't think he should be kicked out. Obviously, he was a little gentler than the other gentleman who
certainly
was kicked out for saying God is in control, which is funny because that was the line I and others were saying at Straight Pride, only a little different. We were saying God loves you, and they were getting very upset about that. Seems that one really riles up the left for some reason.
Probably because they're they're evil.
Well, they see themselves, like, whether they're actually demonic, as some Christians might say, or whatever, misled, I guess, or confused, they do see themselves in a war with, like, the Christian God. Like, they all see themselves in rebelliousness against him specifically. It seems like a lot of our leftists grew up in maybe homes where a religion was either overly strict or underly taught, one or the other, or so usually both.
Well, I mean, they can't tolerate the old gods, right? They can't tolerate fucking Jesus Christ or Yahweh because he's not the social justice God.
Right. But I think that's why they get to the social justice God, if that makes sense. It's because they're in rebellion against the Christian God, in not only like in their own hearts. And this isn't like putting a religious aspect on it. Like, they literally hate this idea of a creator and what they are given being the creation, right? They're angry of the creator of everything because they think it's all shit all the time. And that's basically the driving force of the left. That everything is shit, so we just need to destroy it all and make it better. Well, it's not going to make it better, it just destroys everything, right? The best thing to do is dry the shit and use it as bricks to build a civilization, but they don't want to do that.
Yeah. No, I mean, the thing that a lot of them don't want to realize is that, like, pride, like, they say they're against religion, but pride basically is a religion.
Oh yeah.
No.
No, it's more than just for pride though. Like leftism, there's a reason the cathedral is such an apt term for it. They literally bow and pray to George Floyd. Like, we've all seen that. They take the knee and they put their head down and they pray to their martyr, George Floyd. That's creepy to me as a guy that's like, I've been, around cults and I've studied like weird occultic things and niche groups and stuff like that. I'm just interested in this kind of oddball history.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to really speak for you, but I mean, you've told me at least that you're not really that religious, Max. So I mean,
but I love studying like the mental state of religiosity,
right?
If that makes sense.
No, I mean that makes,
and it's just concerning when you look at groups like a lot of people don't know this, but Jonestown was a group of far left California Democrats that were led by this guy who had fancied himself to be, at first he was a good preacher, then he was the voice of God, and then he became God. I may have to cut and run.
Well, Jonestown was an incredible CIA op to get rid of a bunch of commies.
Or that's a possibility.
Yeah, if you've got to cut and run, that's fine.
Yeah, I'll never forgive you.
But Yeah, it's just I even wrote like an article the other day on my blog that like why do we need Pride Month? Why not just have Pride Week or Pride Day? And Max is gone.
Pride Minute?
Well, no, I mean
Why don't we
my
have Pride Nanosecond?
well, yeah.
Oh, there it was.
I mean,
Well, they don't want you to have Pride Boys, right? So didn't somebody already try that?
I don't know.
They were called like the Pride Boys.
Oh, the Proud Boys. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Right? They don't want you to do that apparently.
Well, no, because the Proud Boys are talking about like, things like having families and like and getting together with your fellow men and having like game nights and like having beers with your friends, just like normal guy stuff, right? Crazy, I know. But speaking of crazy weird stuff, I guess aliens have been like officially discovered or whatever. There's
I am very, very skeptical.
well, yes, I was hoping you could comment on this.
You could, he's claiming to be a whistleblower. Okay, show me the documents, right?
Well, it's
Yeah,
not like it's not like this isn't the first time that we've heard of this either, right? Like there have been other quote unquote alien whistleblowers in the past too.
Well, yeah, but it goes in line with the naval pilots that went on like Joe Rogan and the same recycled videos. If you go watch those videos, one is an infrared signature of a jet flying away from you. If you watch the video, the supposed it's changing its shape. It's not changing its shape. That's just what heat looks like from a distance, right? That's an anomaly to the sensor. The second is using the same heat signature, except for they're traveling one way. They lock onto a duck traveling the other way against the water so that it looks like the object is going fast because you're moving fast, the opposite direction of it. And they lock onto it and they go, oh, wow, I locked onto it. Yeah, it was a duck. You can look at it. It's pretty much flapping its fucking wings. So the great evidence that we've had over the last 4 years has been grainy footage of locking onto a duck and long distance infrared view of another jet. Sorry, I'm not convinced. Right?
Here's my whole thing on aliens, right? Like I feel like if it were real, they would have revealed themselves to us by now. But B, like, who cares? There's a lot like more important stuff. Although, like I said, maybe the aliens are among us and they're at Pride. So some of them.
If it's true, right, then it's a big deal. And if it's true, then you'll have evidence. I mean, I'm just not gonna take someone's claim for granted like that. That seems a bit ridiculous, right? When your claim is that we have recovered alien ships and that it's been covered up, I mean, presumably what? It's had to be covered up by multiple governments across the world.
Yeah.
Like what exactly is being? It just seems a bit far fetched. I mean, okay, this is the first time it's really leaking. I mean, you can say what you want, and once again, I'm open. If he's like, hey, here's fucking some actual evidence of some shit, even just like grainy footage of something that looks like a TikTok breaking the speed of light would be enough to have me like weren't giving it more credibility.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Tucker has been on about this for a while, and I haven't really liked his coverage of any of it.
Yeah, no, that was the other thing I was going to say is like, so kind of segueing into another story, but also relating. Tucker released like the pilot of his new show on Twitter, which like only was like 10 minutes long. And I'm hoping like maybe it'll be a paywall thing, but like I'm hoping it's longer than just 10 minutes.
I liked the format. I liked it. It was short. It got the point across that he was trying to make. I think that it's I'd have to look to see how many views it's got, but
well, let's look at that right now. Actually, it's got okay, let me go to okay, let me. So I'm looking at this right now, and okay, so as of right now, Wednesday, June 7th at 10:35 p.m., it's got 95.8 million views.
yeah, I mean, I think that this format is going to win a lot more people over. I mean, it doesn't need to be this long thing. He's not having big commercial breaks. So if he's not having big commercial breaks, I mean, you can get through a lot of content. I feel like it was condensed and cutting and makes like big points of what's in the news. I hope that, yes, I hope that like the 10-minute thing is not a hard set rule.
Yeah,
but between 10 and 20 minutes, just long enough to get your point across, to be poignant, to not flounder. That's I think the way to go.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like a lot of those like morning like news summary podcasts are like around 20 minutes, and that's fine. That's perfect. My only other I actually agree with you on that. I guess really my only complaint with it, it's not really even Tucker's fault, but like the way Twitter's app works, there's no way to like exit out of the app or to like close the app and have like background play, right? And this is something that like just a small thing that like if Twitter's going to go in more of like a video content direction, that they might want to consider doing, but I mean, other than that, I thought it was pretty good. And I'm looking for seeing what he does next. So, and I mean, I'm the other thing is, I'm hoping that he doesn't paywall this too much. So, yeah. Other than that, though, I didn't really have anything else other than the fact that I guess like Apple released like an augmented reality headset, which
remember that that broad that got arrested. She had sex with a dog outside of a church for her OnlyFans.
No, I don't
Okay.
think I've heard about this.
Well, it was in Jones County, right? And she was charged with filming herself having dogs.
Oh yeah.
She's come back on Twitter and just openly saying she's guilty and defending it as some kind of civil rights crusade.
Okay.
Yeah. It's really disturbing.
Well, like I said, we're living in clown world now. But anyway, yeah. If anything else, or
That's pretty much all I have in my news stack.
I mean, all I have in my news stack, other than that, is like Apple got into they announced their augmented reality headset, and I mean, everyone is talking about how high of a price point it is at $3,500, which it is. But I guess the more important thing is now that they're in this space, like augmented reality is going to be more of a thing. Like I don't know, like Shmuley, you and I have talked about like AR, but like what do you think of like the concept of augmented reality, like the idea of like moving 3D objects around for like your workflow or something?
I mean, potentially it might have some use. I mean, I've found that like one of the things that I want to do basically is mock up like a computer case.
Yeah.
I want to make like a wooden mini ITX computer case. And my first thought was I'd use something like Google SketchUp, right?
Yeah.
But then I go to actually use Google SketchUp and I realize that the learning curve is pretty intense.
Yeah, I mean it, and I mean as far as like CAD tools or whatnot, like Google SketchUp is like on the easier end of like software to use, I guess. So
That's what I'm saying. I just wanted to use something really quick to like get a sense of, the motherboard is 7 or 6.7 inch by 6.7 inch, right? And then I was going to take and look at wood because the whole point is minimizing the need to do very complicated cuts relative to the production so that this can be cheap and simple and I could produce it really rapidly, right?
well,
But to do that, what my point is that to do that is actually it's more efficient for me to like make it out of cardboard first.
Yeah.
It just to get a sense of the scale, get a sense of the problem. How does this piece go to here? So if it's possible that in the future I could use augmented reality to more physically make a square, make a rectangle that's this size, that size, and basically assemble it with my hands, but do so digitally, I feel like that could provide value. But this requires a lot of complicated technology to work just right, basically.
Yeah. Well, and look, like augmented reality isn't like, I guess the story here is like it's not going to be adapted by the mainstream for a while, but it's officially here and now, and so just like AI and ChatGPT, like people right now are trying to figure out what it is right now. With what you're talking about, like in regard to computer mock-ups, like I could almost see like something where like you could ask like a chat bot, like you could describe what you wanted and then you could feed that to a chat bot, and then the chat bot could maybe like integrate with SketchUp to basically like make what you want based off of your description, kind of like how like Midjourney works or something like that. So
yeah.
But no, those were my only thoughts on AR. So other than that, I don't have a whole lot else. I hope Max is okay wherever he's at. So, but yeah, thanks for tuning in, and I guess we'll be back next week. So, thanks everyone, and we'll talk a jet down the road.
Thanks for listening to the Whitfield Report on the NGC Network. Please visit Sam's website at www.thesamwhitfield.com and support Sam on Patreon at patreon.com/Whitfield Report. Until next time, God bless, God save this great nation, and God, freedom, legacy, in that order.